Welcome to this meditation, channeled by Sananda Kumara. Please find a comfortable position with your back straight. Close your eyes and connect with your body. Before we begin, we advise you to set an intention from your heart for this experience. Repeat with me, mentally or if possible out loud. I allow myself to be open to love. I allow myself to be in the present moment. I allow myself to connect with my body. I allow my energy to flow freely. I am here and now. Take 3 deep breaths and get ready. The channeled meditation is about to begin. I wish you a beautiful journey.
In the end of procrastination, we find the full manifestation. We also achieve the realization of our creativity and the understanding that comes with it. How much can you perceive and comprehend of you in procrastination? When you hold yourself back, when you prevent yourself from growing by experimenting only what is known and predictable, when you prevent yourself from discovering new adventures, and when I say new adventures, I'm not talking about changing and going to different places outside of you. Let's make this clear. I'm talking about new adventures in your perspective and the way you act, and you allow the new to enter your reality where you are at this moment. Many times we try to change by going outside, by trying to move things in nature, in reality, forgetting that everything that we are going to find in this reality will end up mirroring that lack of true authentic adventureness that starts in the core, in the center. Again, this doesn't mean that change cannot be accompanied by movement outside of you. They may come in tandem, in connection, but will come a moment in your experience in life where change will need to come only from your perspective, your narrative, and your language. Doesn't matter how hard you try to change things outside, there will be moments where you will be faced again and again and again with the same reality, the same people and circumstances, dressed differently. They will have another face, reality will look different from the outside, but it's the same for you. There is no place to run or to go, because you are bringing the same reality again and again and again. This doesn't mean that you cannot change both at the same time, that you can move outside and inside and things will change for you. But if you stick to a reality and you have been running from aspects of you, reality will mirror the same back to you again and again and again. And change, there is only one aspect of you that requires this transformation. And this ability to transform will ask of you to look deep and deep inside. Because the answer is in the structures of you. Everything that you have been used to consider that you are. Imagine a pilot that arrives into a cockpit of an airplane and have a memory loss. And he looks around and around and around, and he believes that he is the airplane and the experience outside of him. He don't understand that the cockpit and the reality outside, it's not what it is. It is the same if you go inside your reality and believe that the structures, everything that you have been seeing happening, because you also have a memory loss. You also forgot who you are as the pilot that enters the cockpit and don't know what it is. What does it mean that when you enter this reality and you don't remember what you are, you start believing that the cockpit, this body, is you. You start believing that the outside reality is you. And you start creating this identification with what you perceive as being you from the vantage point of this body. But the cockpit and the landscape outside could never be the pilot. The pilot is the pilot. In your case, the pilot is a vessel of consciousness. How can you transform your reality if you are terribly afraid of going away from the cockpit? You cannot change your reality if you are attached to the idea that this is who I am. How can you transform and change if you cannot allow your body to have a different sense perception, to feel different inside your own body? How can you change and transform if you do not allow a change in your reality outside of you? Letting go of old connections, relatives, integrations from past lives. How can you become aware of change in a deep, profound inner environment? It's a mistake to perceive yourself as fake or unreal, because there is this materiality in you. And that's the point, is mirroring you. And that's when things get weird, when any form of example we could give. Because the cockpit does not mirror the pilot. But you can understand this. Yes? When the pilot goes and sits in the chair of command and move the commands to one side or to the other side, something happens in the reality outside. The airplane goes to one side or to the other side, things are changing and moving. But it's only happening because the pilot is moving that instrument. So there is an action of the consciousness in you that can move the tempo so it goes in new directions, yes? But if you think that everything that is this instrument must remain untouched and the same because this is who I am, there is no transformation and change in your reality. How can you overcome the fear and the self-doubt from integrating this truth in you? Definitely. How can this become so intertwined in your perception of reality that you cannot hide the truth to yourself again? How can you stop believing facts and events from the outside as being reality, as being the truth? How can you stop to justify everything that happens to you because I am like this, because this is my temple, I have this problem? Forgetting that you can change every instrument inside. As the cockpit is full of buttons that you can press and change qualities, also your temple is the same. You just need to understand that everything in your body is a mirror of your consciousness moving. So that's why people, one moment in their journey, will have to stop trying to change everything outside. They need to choose to stop being experience addicts. It's always trying to find new experiences to hide, to run away. They grow tired of this. Life becomes dull after a time, because this is the actual pretending that is negative, that is self-denying. So please, you exist as a materiality, yes, and running away from it is not the answer, but also believing that it is what you are. It's also a misunderstanding. It is a mirror, a reflection. How can you become aware of this and change your narrative every day? Change the way you compose your perspective and sentences. To really understand and comprehend that reality always comes from you. And if you want to change, change you. If you want to transform, transform you. If you want to have a new, pleasant experience, transform your perspective. How can you go back in time? How can you comprehend the flow of time, also as part of an illusion? Time is just a continuum, a linearity. Right now, right here, everything that you are is just a continuum of what you were before. To change time, to go beyond time, to go beyond linearity, you need to change the continuum. The ability to choose, free will, comes with the capacity of changing the continuum. It's not about pushing back yourself. Many times people think that choice is what they do inside linearity, because they forgot that they are not the cockpit or the landscape around in the windows. So they think the only choices they can do is to move around in the cockpit. There is a door, you can open the door and go away. And in this door, everything is available, many different perspectives. But if it never opens the door or is afraid of what is beyond the door because it only knows the cockpit, then there is extreme limitation. So the linearity of choices is to follow on the same perspective and believe that that is the expression of your free will. But no, free will is going beyond the narrative of existence itself. It's much bigger than it. And this ability is what is perceived as a God, divine creator in you. But how can you outgrow the conceptions of reality? How can you outgrow everything that exists and go away from the continuum without ceasing to exist? How to manage this capacity of perceiving reality in such a different way that comes with true understanding that you can break the continuum and not break the continuum to change in a negative way. And negative in this sense is to create this harmony. But to break this continuum, to bring back into harmony, to bring it back into resonance, to bring it back to unification. So when you look back and you perceive this vessel of you, this airplane is the conditioning of all the engineers and centuries of theory and development, decades and decades of dedication to create the airplane and the cockpit. And itself, the landscape was created by the divine of eons of integration in many, 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 many universes. It's a very advanced creation. So the landscape outside you are inheriting. The airplane and the cockpit is also an inheritance, is a human creation. It's from your ancestors, from your society, from your narrative that you inherited. All of those conditionings is your airplane, your cockpit. Your cockpit as the center of command in this perspective is all your thoughts. The way you believe or do not believe that something is yes or no, right or wrong, all of your perspectives and conditionings. So this is an inheritance, and it is an accumulation of many, many, many actions for countless beings. It is wrong to punish or to criticize this amazing creation, its complexity. Do not accuse your limitations on this amazing creation. Do not say bad things to the cockpit that limits you, or to the airplane, in this case your tempo and all your conditionings, criticizing your ancestors. Just see the beauty of their creation, but understanding that now you want to go through the door. Nothing bad about it. You can just say, now I need to outgrow this because I can fly without this machine. So you go through the door and you float free. There is no more all of those metal bars holding your vision and your perception. You can just float through creation without all of that heaviness, without all of that density. What does it mean? This means to outgrow linearity. The linearity is the conditionings and constraints of an airplane. It's the conditionings and constraints of your beliefs, of your habits. Imagine that. They built it because they did not believe they could fly. They did not believe they could create reality from their thoughts. But you know better. Why to keep constraining you using the airplane when you can just go outside and fly? That is the truth of conditioning that you're carrying with you in your language, in your perspective, in the barriers of experience that you're creating to yourself, limiting your flow. You need to let go of all those constraints. They are destroying the beauty you create. Because when you try to fly and float, then you bump your head in the cockpit. You cannot fly free inside those constraints. You'll be bumping and bumping the walls and the instruments, and you cause pain. The airplane can crash and burn. It's not good. It's not safe. How can I fly bumping myself against those walls? Sensitive instruments trying to hold something together that maybe is no longer useful to me, but doesn't mean I have to be destructive about it, including destroying myself, as I will be caged inside that conditioning. So the right way to do is to appreciate the creation, to lend it, and to say, thank you for the beauty of this inheritance. Now I don't need it anymore. I can fly. You can go out, appreciate the beauty of the airplane, say thank you for the eons of engineering, development of a civilization to be able to create such a thing. But now you can just float and fly. It's unnecessary for you, completely obsolete, absolutely obsolete. It's just a piece of art somewhere representing the inventivity of the Creator inside many beings, millions of them, billions of them. But now you just go and fly. So I ask you, this is beautiful. Do you want to do it this way? Is that the easiest way for you? Is it necessary to keep fighting the restraint? Why this is here? Why there is this here, this, that? Why I have this? Why I am like this? You still struggling with the conditioning and believing them real. You're not understanding the nature of someone that can fly. Many times you're still struggling with the cockpit. I want to fly, and I go and bump myself, and I go and bump myself against it. Why I have this, and you bump yourself against it. But I want to fly, and you bump your head again, and the airplane do something weird. What does it mean in practical terms? It's when you're trying to fly, holding to beliefs, to perspective and narratives of the old. You go and fly, and you bump your head in your old perspectives, my beautiful. So you need to release all of this in your mind. And as you know, you need to move the energies in your body. And this represents opening the door and going out of the density. To float above, to levitate, you need to detach from the density. A levitator cannot levitate holding tons and tons of anchors. It has the capacity, but it's being held back. And if it could levitate, why to do so? bringing so much heaviness with it. So move your energy wisely in this term, so can you overcome the linearity of time. Time being the momentum, time being the inheritance, time being the airplane that you are stuck into, and you can only go the way an airplane can go. You can only carry as much fuel as an airplane can carry, meaning your life ending. I can only exist in that airplane for such and such time, because that's how much my ancestors believed I could live. That's how much they were attached to the form, and the soul, the spirit, would grow tired of the experience, say, no, enough of it. Do you understand? So if you want to float and outgrow time and linearity and limitations with it, you must start understanding the profoundness of your beliefs, of your energetic conditionings that want to flow in the same way every day, until you voluntarily, actively say, no, you will not move like this. No, I say, you shall not move like this. I am beyond density now, and you will move in a new way. But I know that this no cannot be a struggle, because then again I am back to density. Wow, I need to learn how to seduce, to allow the flow instead of being a struggle, a slight push in a new direction, a slight push in a new direction, a slight push in a new direction. So I repeat and I repeat and I repeat, and I seduce and I command, and I'm pushing a little bit, and I'm pushing a little bit, and I'm pushing a little bit. So instead of fighting against an impossible torrent of conditionings, I'm pushing it, and I'm pushing it, and I'm pushing it, and I may become very good at it. So good that I can intertwine myself into the flow and change its direction immediately. It requires a little bit of practice, I know. But flow cannot be a disaster for you. If you fight yourself, oh my God, it may be very difficult and tricky. It's like pushing yourself against the walls of the cockpit and breaking the commands. Be careful with your narrative and the way you describe reality. Be careful the way you perceive yourself and others. Do not describe them negatively over you. Do not struggle with them or yourself. Be peaceful. Change your perspective and narrative in a very gentle way, so you can push the energy slightly and beautifully until you become so self-aware and so beautifully connected that you can just move wherever to whatever. That is literally the floating, the overcoming, the outgrowing. But you learn it. You received a gift from the divine. Now you can fly and float easily by going to the center, the core, where the flame of ascension is very purely activated for you. It means that you can float above the density and bring that key of activation of holiness, completeness, absoluteness, and just irradiate as it longer and longer you remain in the center during your day. During moment to moment to moment to moment, all of those parts of you will become more loose. So it'll be easier to push into the direction you want. They will become more gentle to your touch. But you need to connect to them. That's the tricky part that many of you forget. You need to feel them, to sense them, to allow them, to perceive them from an angle that is okay. They just are what they are. And then in that sensation in the center where you feel and connect fully to the flame of ascension, you just shine your light above it. You shine your light above it. And you shine your light above it. And then allow everything that is conditioned in you to perceive a new reality. But if you do it once a day, or you do 3 seconds every 5 hours, it will not be effective as you understand the concept of linearity and accumulation of momentum. There is a huge momentum in your life, don't you agree? All of this momentum is this inheritance that we're talking about. So you understand what is a momentum going in your direction. And now you receive a new momentum from the divine. And there is a momentum operating in the system to elevate you. But all of these momentum of conditionings are very strong if you allow them to guide you. That is what we can perceive as a mistake if we use your narrative. A mistake is when we are choosing something that's not what we actually want to do. If you want to create something beautiful for yourself and for reality, but then you go and act in a way that it is against it. This is what you describe as a mistake, yes or no? When we're talking to you about this, we're trying to make you understand that if you want to create beautiful things in a new level of creation, it's good for you to sustain that frequency and vibration as long as possible, so that you make decisions and interact with other people in that frequency as long as possible. Hold your sacredness into place so that you can change your reality and become absolutely free from the cockpit and the airplane, the momentum of linearity of time and space. You already understand that you, in that floating, can change your past, your future, and other realities. You already took the complete understanding of how deep can you change everything. Because reality is not what it seems to be from the eye of someone that is hypnotized in reality description. It's like someone using goggles, instruments, to go inside an artificial reality, a virtual reality, and it stays there for so long that it does not remember that it was never an authentic reality. It does not mean that it doesn't exist. It does exist, this artificial virtual reality, for the person who is using the goggles. It exists for them, it is real inside a system, yes or no? But it's not the ultimate reality and experience. They're outside of it. So remember, you are no longer believing this hypnosis. So remember yourself, nothing is so terrible, so bad and ugly in this experience. Remember, this is just an artificial experience to mirror your power as a creator in a very beautiful landscape, giving you the opportunity to bring eternity into the flow of everlasting transformation and change. The materiality of this realm gives you amazing chances to play and enjoy. Can you change your narrative and your perspective once and for all, describing yourself and your experience from that perspective? Then changing and becoming is no longer a terrible thing, a burden or a disaster. Changing is the ability to enhance your experience As a creator inside this realm, you chose to exist in the first place. Like someone who chose to use those goggles to go inside a virtual reality to have fun, to enjoy an experience. You chose to exist here, to embody this experience, to become it, so you can have fun and enjoy and enhance. The person who is using the goggles and deep in virtual reality, it is enhancing itself. It is growing many times much faster than it would grow in their real reality. So again, in this real reality does not apply because we have many layers of real reality, as you already understand the multidimensional aspect of existence. But in the layer above us, in the deepest sense, or inside your heart, as it is the truth that you are the outbring of this consciousness, the supreme prevailing presence of I Am. There is a first realm, a first reality where you are coming from. And that amazingness, that beauty is still in you, in your heart. And that is the Flame of Ascension job, to remind you, to bring that completeness and irradiate the beauty of this understanding inside this reality. So again, to outgrow the pain of repetition, to outgrow those conditionings, we need to go beyond linearity. And to go beyond linearity entails all of those understandings and becoming aware of your creations. At the same time, you understand more and more clearly the nature of this realm. And then you can outgrow everything. But see, there is one thing then that you need to encompass. If I chose to exist in this place, I will inhabit the form. I can be everywhere. I can experiment every space in this experience. I can even be a sun, a planet, a galaxy. I can be many levels of consciousness, and my body can have many shapes and forms. But I will limit myself when I choose a form. If I choose to be a planet, I am no longer a simple human being. If I am a human being, I am no longer a simple cell. Do you understand this? Will always come with a narrowing of your perspective of an endless consciousness. And it is the beauty of experimenting, of flowing through a form and shape. But you know your limitless form. You know how big you are. You know how mesmerizing it can be to exist. You know how beauty it can be to bring this capacity to create inside creation. You know, you understand. So it's no longer fighting against my choice. It's to expressing the most beautiful form into it. What is the highest potential of this form, this experience? Do you understand the beauty of it? Then if you ever choose to interrupt the experience of being this form, it's because there is other forms that you want to experiment. Now I want to be a galaxy. So you change. Not because of decay, not because of struggle, competition, fighting. It's because you have so much harmony and beauty that you express it enough, the fulfillment, the completeness, the absoluteness, the beauty of this experience. So you want to do the same with different form and shape, new experience in this amazing realm of possibilities. So be it, and so it is.
How can you outgrow your pain and suffering if it happens too fast? Have you become addict to suffering, to feeling pain? Does it give you structure? You know, the airplane, the density of the airplane? Does your fear and struggles, competitions and fightings give you a form and shape? Does it remind you of something? It gives you a sense of belonging? Does it make existence smell existence? Because you know, I have been this in so many lives. So this is what is to exist, isn't it? No, it is not. This is a form of existence, a shape that you are used to it. So if pain and suffering is coming too fast, isn't that because there is a sense perception of making this a habit in a known place? So, like a bird that finally has the cage open to fly, decided to go to the door of the cage and then come back in frightened. How can you overcome the fear that comes? Isn't it strange to go out of misery and density and fear and mistakes, cowering away from opportunities of beauty? Why this is happening to me? Why? Because you're bumping yourself against the density. What should I do to overcome it? Go to a meditative state. Go to a place where that never existed to begin with. Go to the center and remember, this is all an illusion. This is all conditioning. Like a caged bird, I got used to the bars. So when I go out of the airplane, the beauty of the fresh air and the amazingness of angles, right? Because inside the cockpit, there is so narrow the perspective, isn't it? Such small windows, only in one direction. Now I am overwhelmed by all the beauty. But isn't that all the beauty what you really want to and deserve to receive to begin with? So if you narrow your perspective, if you are bumping into the compressing of negative emotions, then you know who you are. So what do I do? Expand your perspective. Go out of the narrowness and stop bumping yourself against the heaviness by going to your heart in a meditative state where everything already is. How many times I need to commit a mistake to learn? Well, you decide how many times you need. It's your choice. But I wouldn't care so much about it. I would just do what needs to be done to become aware of it and transcend it. There will come a moment, if I choose, that can be easy and fast and quick, but everything in my body will finally understand that that density, that flow of energy in that angle is no longer required, that focalizing on all the negatives in me and reality in people and circumstances and embracing them as if they were reality is no longer necessary. I can broaden up my perspective and see all the beauty. I don't need to always focus on the bad things on me, bad possibilities, mistakes, difficult changes, oh my God. I can see all the beautiful possibilities too, you know. All the amazing efforts I did and other people did to me in my life. I can see the beauty and say thank you. Like going out of the airplane is constricting you. is narrowing it. But instead of fighting it and complaining, you can say, thank you, you are a work of art, but you know that's not my way. Thank you. Do the same to your parts. So when things are overwhelming to you, change is becoming too fast, it's just a matter of perspective. Ground yourself in the center. Where is the calmness in a hurricane? Do you know this? In the center, there is no movement in the center. So go to the calmness in the center. Be at peace in the center. You can change everything and become everything from the center. But go to the center and remain there. Broaden up your perspective. And maybe in that movement will be very clear that a part of you wants to keep checking up the negative sensations, who keep you talking about all these negative things. Then you understand, oh, this is just the cage. Godness is just a conditioning. He doesn't actually want to stop it. It wants to keep doing it. Oh my God, now I got it. Doesn't want to cease this density. And it's just doing it what it was programmed to do to feel safe that it exists. Okay. Don't fight it. Our airplane is made to do what our airplane does. It is constricted. It is encased in very hardened metal. Layers and layers of protection. That is the nature of our airplane. It's supposed to make it safe. But is it serving you? The layers of protections and reactivities that you observed? No. So go back to the center. Perceive all of this with a broadened perspective. And then guide the flow. Guide the flow, and guiding the flow is not a fight. Again, don't go against it, don't bump against the wall, it will hurt you. Invite, bring it visions, bring it new sensations from the heart. Irradiate, smile, visualize beauty, and just stick to it. But then you are in the beauty, and then pain comes in your body and a negative thought comes. Don't focus on it. Allow it. Yes, this is what it does, Yeah, that is the nature of conditioning. You're already aware of it. Make it do whatever it do. But be there, enhancing, smiling and connecting and feeling everything you need to feel. But focus in what you are creating and bringing into fruition. Oh, but this is there. It is there. But don't focus on it. Remain connected to it, but don't focus on it. Focus on what you are creating. Do this constantly. Of course, we have healing moments when we go and have conversation with those parts to understand why they do what they do. But they will never stop if you just do that. This is just a misunderstanding. You already got the point that spirituality is to move energy with your consciousness. Keep having the same dialogues, listening to the same answers again and again. It's not transformation. You need to do this once to understand the nature of the womb. need to do one bumping against the wall to know the wall is there. Now it's about learning how to move it, what it needs to be moved. Do not expect the world and the world beliefs and narratives to change just because you are there. They will change because you are there in a frequency that's softening up by irradiating, by guiding, that is pushing a little bit in a new direction, inviting, saying the words that is like a trance, a mantra, that brings a new direction to the flow. But if it gets too hard, breathe deeply and go back to the center again. Rest. Bask in the sunlight of endless opportunity and potential. Remember the beauty of who you are. If you are growing too attached and getting too close to all of those heaviness, go to the heart. Remember again that it's a thing of beauty to be here. Then you can dive again. Talk, move, connect, close up the distance if needed. But again, remember, it's not about having the endless same conversation. It's about explaining, calling, and moving. So move the beauty of I am in you so that you can float and change this reality back into the center of harmony of I am. To reconnect everything and bring endless beauty of unicity to this realm. So that eternity can be once again in this creation. So be it, and so it is.
How it is to be overwhelming beauty. How it is to be in that center where your life can be unmade and remade. Absolutely. And you know, it can be as beautiful, as amazing as you can conceive. And what is the most beautiful thing you can conceive? The most expansive thing. To expand endlessly happens from the center. Because when we are in unicity in the center, we become a fusioning reactor. And fusioning things make them more beautiful and complex and release endless energy and supply. So when you go back to the source in your heart and you become like a star, a unified being that can bring more and more complexity and endless energy to this reality, this is the utmost beautiful thing you can do. The ultimate beauty of I am is to become this overflow of life, endless expansion, endless playfulness. Can you be that endless playfulness, endless energy, endless beauty, endless creation? Can you be a star? Can you radiate the glory of I am? All the time. Feel it deeply. Endless playfulness with lightness and love. Feel the lightness of it. Do you remember the taste of the new earth? Is it a match? Isn't it? Now bring the factor of eternity to you. No anxiety, no fear. Endless possibility. Feel it grow inside of you from your heart. Perceive the parts of you that are dense in comparison. Allow that density to melt away like ice when it's close to the heat.
No eyes can resist the glory of a sun blazing close to it. So melt the resistance, melt the density to create more beautiful and complex things. Allow that sensation of endless playfulness to spread all around your body. Allow all the guilt and all the shame, all the burdens that you are carrying with you to melt. Allow the endless playfulness and the lightness of heart infusioning brings to you. Break this tradition of suffering just by allowing the heat to melt away. And feel your body and your structures, everything in you, lighting up. It gets lighter and lighter and lighter. Imagine that you are a helium balloon. You're getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and you can float and float and float and float. Almost you can levitate in your chair, in your pillow, wherever you are. And you may sense some areas that are a little bit even darker at this moment, and you release more fusioning, more lightness, more serendipity, more love to it. Say, life is a miracle, life is a beauty, I deserve it. I am a vessel of the divine, I value so much my existence in this state and frequency. And allow the melting of everything. Appreciate life. Let go of any anger, any self-doubt, let it go of it. Break the chains that imprison you in repetition and let it go of everything that is holding you back. Now you're getting lighter and lighter. There is more helium entering your system. You can just float and float and float easier and easier. You can levitate. Allow everything to just melt into the power of the sun. And every fire that is burning inside of you to be unified to the sun and calm itself down. I am divine, I am sacred. I am a holy temple of I am. Now floating above, I float above, I allow myself, I choose to float above, I float above, I choose to float. I levitate above creation, I levitate, I float above. From this amazingness, ignite in your marrow, in your bones, in your spine, the frequency of the new earth. Allow
your diamond body to express its frequency, resonating, resonating, resonating. Open the temple of the heart gate in the center and allow the crystal of the heart to emanate unicity to you. Feel the unifying glory of I Am through the crystal of the heart. The divine is getting closer and closer, and eternity is coupling in you. You can sense a realm of pure light above you, very close. Now bring all of this to you and start to shine and radiate the frequency. Resonate, 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 so every atom in this creation knows who you are, what you are creating. And now all of this realm of reality must couple with you. I need to accept that now this reality is changing because I exist. And all of us together multiplied 10 times fold, hundreds of times, thousands of times. And now with the divine joining in millions and millions of times. Feel the divine joining in and resonate, 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 elevate, 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 shine. Feel the endless serendipity, lightness, love of the new earth creation. Feel the amazingness of life in your body right here, right now. Feel the beauty of synchronicity, the amazingness of everything. Allow the sacredness to be restored in the beautiful glory of I Am. Feel it enhancing, enhancing everything. You elevate, 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 shine. I am, I am, I am the core, the center, the flame of ascension. I am the pillar of the divine that holds the new being. I am the center and the core of this creation. This is where I go back to. I live in the center. I am the new earth. This is where I go back to. So be it, and so it is. As I am unified, and I shine and shine this new frequency above creation. I am like a sun, changing everything and remaking everything. I am co-creating the divine a new realm of possibility. And I do this as a singularity, a unified one, a child that is fully awake and goes back to eternity, goes back home by being this here and now completely. Shining and shining and shining this beauty above all of this creation. Shining and shining and shining in your reality of the divine. And I shine inside out, changing everything with the sacred consciousness of I Am, co-creating worlds, realities, realms of beauty. Amazing gentleness of pure love and enlightened consciousness, that it is in a state of ecstasy of the pleasure of co-creation with the divine, that is shining beauty right here, right now, in your overflow, in your
your personal visualizations and decrees. How amazing it is to shine. And when you shine, you radiate, you are creating and changing this realm. How are you gonna express this amazing power of yours in this journey this day? Choose, visualize, decree. As the Divine is co-creating with you from above in all directions with many forms of I Am, we are all here in this sense perception to co-create and expand the beauty of I Am. Let's decree out loud together to celebrate our power of co-creation. So be it and so it is, because this is my will, the will of divine sacred consciousness, divine sacred presence manifested right here, right now in this earth through the sage and temple of I Am. So be it and so it is, so be it and so it is, so be it and so it is. Gratidão, gratidão.